Welcome to another episode of Hard Target Range. Today we're going to be shooting our 9mm, Katie with her 250 Sig, and me with my Glock 19. Let's go shooting! Now you'll notice mine, I got a headshot there. Yeah. Yours are, notice you're pulling yours a little to your right.
Pretty sure they're all right in the heart.
Well, here we are back in the shop, and Jack's gone for the weekend. He's gone up near Duluth to some casino. At any rate, Cousin Jimmy's here, and he made me a little, what he said was a frothy grapefruit blueberry drink. And it's frothy on top there. You know, I always get concerned anytime the words frothy and Jimmy Cousin Jimmy are in the same sentence. I'm leery of participating, but in this case, I guess you'll only live once, to the sunny slopes of long ago. Well, that's quite good. It's supposed to be good for me, he said. So we've been shooting this weekend, my wife and I, the 9mm. Of course, that's frangible ammunition coming out of the barrels at 1,450 feet per second. It's a plus P, and it's a 65 grain bullet. Kind of odd stuff. She was shooting her gun here, which I have, her Sig P250 Compact. And I got this to talk about because the gun is double action only. That's not why I got to talk about it. I just want to mention that it's double action only. Basically, it's the size. The compact versions of the 250 or 320 are basically the same size as a Glock 19. And she was getting good groupings with it on the steel targets, but they were all a little low and to her right. See, she was more to the right than she was low, but she was a little low too. We had discussion out there on the Hard Target Range about the sights, and the rear sight on these things is a fixed affair that's not movable, but the front sight is driftable. And when you look at the front sight, it's pretty close to dead center, but it's just a little off, and that would take you to the right. And I said, well, yeah, you could drift that, but you know, it's awful close. And I said, let's try this. Why don't you reload, put a fresh magazine in and reload and shoot at the target. But as you're shooting, instead of worrying about hitting the target, just concentrate on your sight picture at the beginning. And then as you're pulling the trigger, don't concentrate on the sight picture, but you will concentrate on the sight picture because you have to do it to do this. But don't focus on the sight picture. Focus on keeping the gun, once you get it on sight, keeping the gun from moving as you pull the trigger. And I said, take your time, but just do that. Each trigger pull, don't try to not move the gun once you get it on sight. And she did that and had a string that were dead center. You see? While it's easy to move your sights to compensate for some little variation, you're doing movements you're repeating with the gun as you pull the trigger. The right thing to truly do is just stop and get yourself straightened out, because what you're doing is you're pulling the shot. And in her case, as she's pulling this double action only trigger on this double action only semi-automatic, which I like to refer to this as the square revolver. As she's pulling that trigger, she's pulling it over and down each time. Just the slightest bit over and down as she's pulling that long, hard trigger. And once I got her to do that, she went, oh, wow. And after that, they were all dead center. She realized what she was doing. So there we go. That's what the show is really about today, is trigger control. And as you pull that trigger, make sure that's all you're pulling and you're not moving the firearm. So if you got your sights on target and you don't move the firearm as you pull the trigger, yeah, there you go. You got that nice grouping in the center. So there you go. I'll leave you with a little more footage of us shooting out there. It was a great day. Got a little windy at the end. Thanks for tuning in. Concentrate on it while you're pulling the trigger. Watch your gun. Hold your gun. Not move the gun while the trigger comes back. Alright? But I'm pretty sure we need to pull to that sight. That'll tell you for sure. If you know you didn't move the gun, you need to pull to the sight. Yeah, go ahead. Dead center. Thanks for watching another episode of Hard Target Range, where we shot at those beautiful, beautiful AR-500 steel hard targets from HardTarget, which you can get by following the link below. Till next time, from Mr. Holster
And Mrs. Holster.
and Jack, go out and stay safe.